It is a sellout at Wembley. It's been a wonderful weekend so far of playoff football, and we've saved the best till last. It is the Coca-Cola Championship playoff final. It's Burnley and Sheffield United, and we're live on Sky Sports 1 and in high definition HD 1, channel 408. Very good afternoon to you. One game, one shot, one final chance of glory for Burnley or Sheffield United. For the winner, a place amongst football's elite, and for the loser, absolutely nothing. Our guest this afternoon, Peter Beagrie, who's been with us all season, and joining him, a man who's tasted success and failure in the playoff final now with Nottingham Forest, Billy Davies. And the man who scored the goal that clinched Birmingham's promotion, Kevin Phillips, who's also tasted defeat in playoff finals twice. Very good afternoon to all of you gentlemen. Kevin, I'm sure you wouldn't agree with that sentiment that it's a better way to go up in the playoffs than automatically.
No, I'd rather go up automatically, let's put it that way. You know, I've had 3 weeks off now, I'm ready to go back training, so I feel for these boys now. Fantastic day. You know, these boys, there's some nervous players out there today and nervous supporters, and yes, they say it's the most expensive game in football, but believe me, it's, you know, it's a nervous time, and but you've got to try and enjoy it as well because it's a big occasion.
Billy, you've been on both sides of the fence. Can it be the best and worst of times?
Well, I think it certainly can. As Kevin said, you've got to come here and enjoy it, no matter what happens. That was the one message that I gave to the players. It's important to come and enjoy the day, but it's such a nervous day, it's such an exciting day, and in the end it could be a wonderful day.
Peter, how can they really enjoy an occasion like this?
They've got to, you know, because the team that enjoys it and relaxes them more, there's more likely that they will play to their optimum. It's as simple as that. There is a lot of pressure, but, you know, there's individuals within these both teams who will relax and they'll have a big bearing on the outcome of this game.
And any doubts about the two teams that are here? They're here on merit?
Yeah, absolutely. Sheffield United, third best team, you know, built on the season last year since Blackwell took over, and Burnley, what a great story. Owen Coyle, manager of the season for me, 23 players, that's all he's used. Built on strong characters and strength of character as well. Incredible. They thoroughly deserve to be here.
Well, both have shown consistency in recent weeks, and that's reflected certainly in their lineups today as well. Both unchanged from their playoff semi-final second legs, which is why Burnley line up like this. And it looks like a 4-4-2, Peter, but is that a flexible system?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've seen on occasions, because of Patterson's work rate, particularly if Sheffield United play the 4-5-1, which we think he will drift into the right-hand side channel and attack them down the flanks alongside Blake, making a tight three as Elliott moves inside alongside Alexander and McCann. Sheffield
United unchanged as well. Darius Henderson hasn't made it, so Craig Beattie continues up top on his own. What is their strength, Billy?
Well, I think Henderson's a huge loss for them, there's no doubt about that, but they've got a great replacement in Beattie. Very, very strong in the wide areas, of course that long throw's a danger, and very competitive in the midfield, so a real tough-looking Sheffield United.
Which team do you think, Kevin, has got goals in it?
Well, I think if you look throughout the season, I think Burnley, for me, I said all along I fancy Burnley to win this game. They've got some players there that are match winners, scored some great goals this year, scored a lot of goals, so you know, but saying that, Sheffield United have had a fantastic season. They're a strong team to break down, and you're going to need your match winners today to win the game.
Sure, Burnley would like a slick surface as well. Well, this is the Wembley pitch, which has had its critics, certainly in the last few weeks after the FA Cup semi-finals. All the managers outspoken about it then. It's been relayed since for the 7th time, and Don Goodman, our co-commentator, is down there for us. How's it looking, Don?
Well, it has had its fair share of criticism, Dave, as you rightly say, but it's looking pretty good to me. There were 1 or 2 bounces yesterday that the players couldn't have possibly read, and let's have a look how it's bouncing. As you can see, not too bad at all. And 2 teams that are very capable of passing the ball will like the ball to run true. As you can see, 1 or 2 little bobbles, but in the main, it's fairly true. Now, I played in the very first day here at Wembley in the tester day, and I can tell you this pitch, it's 4 weeks old and it is 10 times better than the pitch that I played on that particular day. So I think both managers will be quite happy with the pitch.
I wonder as well, Don, if the weather's going to be a factor. It certainly seemed to be yesterday. We saw lots of goals when it opened up.
Yeah, I think fatigue, particularly in the sort of last third of the game. I think it's really hot down here. I can feel the sun burning my shoulders, so I'm pretty sure that it will play a part later on in the game.
Wembley Stadium on Championship playoff final day. Burnley have never been there. Sheffield United, well, they feel they should still be there. The Premier League, with all the glamour, the stadium, the riches, that is the prize for the winner here at Wembley today. We saw yesterday, didn't we, with Survival Sunday, just how much it means to stay there, how devastating it is to leave. Today, it's about getting there. A final one match where the prize lasts a whole season and beyond. Few formalities as always to be gone through. Lord Mawini leads out the presentation committee, chairman of the Football League, today in a weekend where the representatives of the armed forces have joined the presentation committee. It is the army. Well, everyone has their hunches, their hopes about the way this playoff final between Sheffield United and Burnley is going to go. How does the man alongside me feel, Don?
Well, I'll tell you what, they've done all their preparations now, haven't they? I'm talking particularly about the managers. Now it's down to the players. The managers will have tried to make this occasion seem like any other game, but you only have to look around to realise that it's not, and therefore for me it's about who deals with the occasion the best, who deals with the pressure the best, and how can you react in the face of adversity if things aren't going your way. Those are the key questions.
Well, it's well publicised, isn't it, just what the footballing reward and fiscal reward is for success here at Wembley this afternoon. And then you look back at recent finals, Don, 4 of the last 5 1-0 scorelines. So often the pressure can stifle the occasion in terms of a footballing spectacle.
Well, certainly over the last couple of seasons where I've witnessed it firsthand, there haven't been spectacular games. They've been very tight games and settled by just the odd goal, as you rightly say. But I don't know if the semi-finals were anything to go by. I think that both teams are very, very capable of taking it to the opposition. And if you are going to fail, you want to go out playing your own type of football, dictating it your own way. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. It should be a good game.
Well, you can't say this game will be more to one than another. Sheffield United supporters and players have certainly tasted the Premier League more recently. Either their starting line-up here today started that final day decider against Wigan. Burnley, 33 years since they were in the top flight. Almost ready to get going. First of all, we will have the national anthem sung this afternoon by Catherine Sales.
Led for us this afternoon by Catherine Sales.
Sunshine, standing at the gateway to the Premier League. One will go there, one will stay here. We'll find out who next.
Good afternoon, everybody.
In glorious conditions at Wembley Stadium, where we will see history made. Graham Alexander has rewritten the history books for Burnley all season. No Burnley player in their club history has played as many games as his. He's beaten the previous record of 59. At the other end, a player who's really typified the Sheffield United battle effort all season. He's the only one, by the way, who's played in a Championship playoff final here at Wembley before. He was part of that Barnsley side beaten here back in 2000. Old and young Kyle Walker. This time last year, he wasn't even a professional footballer. This time last month, he'd only just made his full league debut. And here we go then. It's Yorkshire against Lancashire, Rose's battle royal at Wembley Stadium for a place in the Premier League. We've seen some cracking playoffs so far this weekend, haven't we? Of all the promotions, though, this is the biggest step to take from the Football League to the Premier League. It's also the greatest one. Win one match and you're part of the elite. Lose and you start all over again in around a month's time. Sheffield United won the coin toss. It's they who will play in their home strip, and it is they who will get us off and underway. Full start. Wonderful atmosphere at Wembley. And Don, you were down pitch side testing out the pitch conditions just before. Rain was forecast. Rain has not appeared here in North London this afternoon.
In contrast, actually, we've got scorching hot sunshine. I can't tell you how hot it was down there on the pitch. And that, of course, could be something that comes into play a little bit later on in this game. The pitch itself, I think it's in decent nick. I really do. Credit to them. It's only 4 weeks old. Deserve a pat on the back for it.
Relayed for the 7th time, this Wembley pitch. This, by the way, is the 6th match on it. Here's Brian Howard for Sheffield United. Cleared away by the Norwegian Calvins.
Straight away you can see, actually, when Sheffield United have got the ball, Martin Patterson is tucking down a little deeper than Stephen Thompson to start with. Going to be very, very disciplined in that role.
It was just over a month ago when they met in the league. The only defeat in the last 15 matches on a pretty strong and faultless run-in from Sheffield United, which took them to the brink of automatic promotion. But that one defeat dished out by Burnley. Burnley have done the double over them this season. Little factors, but on a game as tight as this, you know that every manager will use every trick they can for motivation.
We've seen both sides of the coin this weekend in the playoffs, haven't we? Scunthorpe had the hoodoo over Millwall, and so it continued. But prior to that, Shrewsbury Town had beaten Gillingham 7-0 in one game this season, and that went out the window. So what we're going to get here is anybody's guess.
What we do know, it is a one-off occasion. We will rise to it, and we will freeze in the glare. It's happened before. The side that has been expected to prevail, to play their football on the open Wembley turf, or before that at the Millennium Stadium, has just not turned up. Kevin Blackwell, by his own admission, would tell you his Leeds side, for all the expectation and experience they had when they took on Watford, did freeze and ended up losing by 3-0. The sort of experience he'll look to instill in his side here. We did, of course, finish the better off in the Championship season. 3rd against 5th is what we have here.
Started well, haven't they, Sheffield United? Well, we're only a couple of minutes in, but most of the game is being played at that Burnley end at the minute.
In the shade as well. Norton, one of the real Blade revelations of the season, will take the throw. Cottrell. Norton. Lost away by Clark Carlisle for Burnley. It's a rangy effort from the edge of the penalty area. The teenager Carl Norton.
Well, what a story that would have been, wouldn't it? Remember Dean Windass this time last year? Ball came in, bounced up, and he smashed it in. This time a different kind of a story would have been written. Decent effort.
Carl Walker, I should say. We've got Walker on the right, we've got Norton on the left. Blade now for Burnley. Well, the Burnley story has been a wonderful one, which has captivated dormant support, if you like, in the old industrial cotton town in Lancashire. Glory days 50 years ago in the footballing landscape when they were champions of the land. But this season they have really risen again, haven't they? That cup run took them so close against Tottenham to coming to Wembley for the Carling Cup final. Now they're here for the playoff final.
And don't forget their adventures in the FA Cup as well. They've had such an incredible season, haven't they? Owen Coyle deserves an awful lot of credit, an awful lot of praise.
No doubt about it, the way he has bonded his band together. Of course, you need the luck with injuries, suspension, but the use of just 23 players. Compare and contrast to Sheffield United, who've used 39 throughout their season. Captain Caldwell will glance back to Brian Jensen, who's become a talisman for the efforts this season as well in the Burnley goal.
So many players out there that have had wonderful, wonderful seasons in the Championship, and he's just another one.
Thompson and Morgan, that's a battle to watch here this afternoon, isn't it?
That's a big, strong lads, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure Chris Morgan will want that ball up in the air where he can really attack it. There aren't many that get the better of him.
BT playing that striking role. We heard Kevin Blackwell say before, the loss of Darius Henderson is a big one. Not that he brings that many goals to the party, but as a target man, there are a few better at this level.
He's a handful, though, in his own right, Craig Beattie. Maybe not the most natural goal scorer, but certainly a real threat and a handful.
Carlisle rose well. Blake back to help out the defence. Thompson the only one left up here for Burnley. I wouldn't be surprised, on with you, if it was an afternoon where defences, certainly for large swathes of the match, were on top.
Well, you look out there are some creative players on both teams, and I think it's the team that can get the creative players in good possession of that football in good areas. For instance, Burnley certainly don't want Robbie Blake playing really deep on that left-hand side. They want him in the final third, really attacking Sheffield United.
And he was the man whose bullet header brought Sheffield United here to Wembley. He's the one who's given away the free kick now. A tug on Carlisle.
Tug is one way of describing it, yeah. Not rugby league. He was vital, wasn't he, in the semi-finals? 2 man-of-the-match performances. He really has been very versatile, hasn't he? As a fullback, perhaps, but very effective further forward for Sheffield United.
Here's Patterson, who has scored home and away against Burnley this season in the league. Carlisle away. And we'll leave it to Montgomery. Beattie. Now Cottrell. This is where he'll want to pick it up, the Welsh winger. Goes for the early ball in. Carlisle can clear. Quinn with the snapshot. Halford now. Flick from Beattie. And now Patterson for Burnley. Off goes Blake up the left. Calvinez on the overlap. Wade Elliott. Pressure applied by Howard. Pass kick to Duff. Only come into the side in the last couple of games after Reece Williams, who was on loan from Middlesbrough, returned to his parent club.
He's done admirably, hasn't he? Like Duff. Certainly there was one point a couple of seasons ago where he was really, really highly rated. Lots of Premier League clubs, I know, were looking at him. He's got a terrible injury.
He's got nearly 20 caps for Northern Ireland, Michael Duff. That's part of the Burnley secret this season, that people have been able to come in. Here's Elliott. Blake will take it on. Trickle through to Paddy Kenny.
He didn't get any kind of a clean contact on that. He's perfectly capable of bending that ball and striking that ball. Disappointed with that effort.
Well, he wanted his side to settle and turn up and derive confidence from the opening exchanges, and maybe he'll do all those things, Kevin Blackwell. Part of the coaching staff at Sheffield United when they were beaten 3-0 in the final by Wolves. Manager of Leeds when they were beaten 3-0 in the final by Watford. He feels he's due a little bit of playoff final rub of the green. Quick to point out, mind you, that those were both at the Millennium Stadium, those finals. This is at Wembley, so it doesn't count at all.
No, it really doesn't count. That's all he'll have you believe. Craig Beattie. Not happy. He got a bit of a body check there from Clark Carlisle as he was going through.
Cottrell can collect again. Now Blake coming back to cover and taking a somewhat agricultural swipe.
Some really intriguing battles out there. David Cottrell, I think, could be really, really important here this afternoon for Sheffield United. They've got to get him the ball because he's very capable of running at defenders, creating things.
You hear the expression, don't you, about chalk on your boots, and he's certainly getting that earlier on, hugging that far touchline, David Cottrell. Sheffield United, you feel, might just go a little more direct here. Use the physical strength and presence they undoubtedly have. Morgan is forward to provide plenty of that, so too Kilgallen. Fired in by Greg Halford, and the blocker was an effective job.
I think it actually hit his own man. Nick Montgomery, I think, got in the way of that.
Here's Brian Howard.
There's plenty of shots in the opening exchanges, just all really a long way out. I think they're going to be hoping, both teams, that they can create better opportunities than that. That's really straightforward. Never really going to trouble big Brian Jensen.
Howard again. And Victor Cottrell, a pattern emerging.
Well, that's where Stephen Caldwell is going to be really important, because I think for pace, he's got the beating of most people, hasn't he, Dave Cottrell? But Calvin is the left back. You'd fancy that Cottrell would have the pace on him, and Caldwell is going to have to get over there and cover.
Beattie across there this time, and it's Carlisle on the cover. The other thing about Cottrell getting forward is that it stops Robbie Blake doing exactly the same. Certainly Sheffield United in territorial terms are enjoying these first 10 minutes. Long throw, Morgan up there.
Just a little inquiry. One in a corner. Got this long throw. He's surrounded, isn't he? And maybe he's got a case for a corner there. Everybody appeals. I'm not sure Mike Dean saw that little nick off Stephen Caldwell. You can understand that.
Not the first one this playoff weekend that has slightly got away, if it is one.
Well, that is true, but not a significant one.
It seems a long time ago, doesn't it? But when Burnley kicked off their season, you just wouldn't have thought that it would come to this. It started in the Steel City against Sheffield Wednesday. They had 4 put past them, lost their first 2 games, conceding 7 goals, didn't even win in their first 4.
Makes it all the more remarkable, doesn't it? I have to say, they haven't got their passing game going just yet in this match.
Caldwell away. Pressure on Elliott. Here's Carl Norton. Patterson kept it in against the odds, finds Wade Elliott. And he will get forward, and does. Leaves 2 in his wake. It's a terrific run by Wade Elliott. Now McCann joins the party. It's McCann for Burnley. Kilgallen, great challenge. Elliott! Oh, yes! A cracking Burnley goal! The playoff final comes to life. Wade Elliott for Burnley.
Well, you have to say it was all his own work, wasn't it? What a burst that was from the centre of the pitch. He left 2 Sheffield United midfielders in his wake. When the ball breaks to him, he's got so much to do, but what a run. Look at that. Gets the other side, and then he's got the presence of mind to find his midfield partner McCann. They get the tackle in, but that is a fantastic goal. We've seen some stunning strikes, haven't we, this weekend and here at Wembley, but that is right up there with the best of them. It is so deliberate. He knows exactly what he wants to do, curls it up and over and in the corner, and poor Paddy Kenny, absolutely no chance. Not a goalkeeper in the world would get anywhere near that.
Goal number 6 of the season, 10 out of 10 for Wade Elliott. What a goal! We were just saying how it was all Sheffield United in the opening exchanges. The noise now deafening from the Burnley end. With Sheffield United attack, Kilgallen. Floated in. Albanese have come a long way to cover, and goes Morgan. Now Alexander.
They've shown already, haven't they, recently, Burnley, that they are very capable of sitting on a lead and protecting it. I think it's 3 clean sheets on the trot they've had. I wonder if that's going to be a slight change of tact. Sheffield United have also shown, and went behind very early on, similar time actually, I think, against Preston North End in the playoff semi-final first leg, and they bounced back with real style. So Devin Blackwell knows that his boys are capable of coming back, and so does Owen Coyle.
I'll tell you what, if they make a DVD of the club's playoff goals, it will sell like hotcakes. Think of those couple at Reading, Perfect penalty from Graham Alexander, and how about that one at Wembley to continue this Burnley march on Wembley? That's what they've been calling it up in Lancashire.
Quite a remarkable strike, wasn't it? So deliberate.
Dart into the box, Mike Dean takes a look at it. And they were adamant they should have had something, Sheffield United. Look at Brian Howard.
Well, he is very, very enraged. I know players on this, players are going to appeal for everything, but he gets the wrong side. And is there a clip by Alexander on the back there? That's the kind of instant view that Mike Dean, he's got to make a snap decision. I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Quarter of an hour played, Championship playoff final. First Sheffield United corner kick. And this is one of their real strengths, the set-piece prowess. Kilgallen looks to attack it, that's fine goalkeeping by Brian Jensen.
Oh, that is one of his strengths, isn't it? He just comes and attacks through the bodies, and that really relieves the pressure if you're a central defender.
A big reason in all senses of the word as to why they have 5 clean sheets, Burnley, in their last 7 games. Montgomery. Sheffield United keen to wipe out this early deficit as quickly as possible. But Burnley on the break, a considerable force as we've seen. Blake on the deck from Chris Morgan will lead to no yellow card, but certainly a Burnley free kick.
Well, that's the kind of challenge Burnley will be expecting from Chris Morgan. Full-blooded, strong. It's Stephen Thompson through the back. I tell you what, he does not take any prisoners, does he, Chris Morgan?
Blake. Thompson and Patterson in the middle. Blake finds Elliott.
They seem to have got an extra spring in the step, don't they, Burnley? Like you said, I think Sheffield United have started this game the better. What a goal. Goals change attitudes and change games.
I always felt the first goal would be important here, purely because Sheffield United have struggled to score goals recently. Just 3 in their last 6 outings.
Well, the one thing Kevin Blackwell will point you to, though, is they have created chances, and that's the most important thing. Yes, they haven't found the back of the net as frequently as they'd like, but they have got themselves decent chances.
Holford's header, Duff on the cover. Elliott brings it down, finds Robbie Blake. Elliott wanted too much time, Howard didn't give it to him. And on by Morgan, back by Calvanes. Kilgallen trying to put the shackles on Thompson this time. Here's McCann, Thompson, Patterson. We won't need a second invitation to shoot. Burnley's top scorer looking to take his tally to 20 for the season. Patterson. This is Duff. Elliott. McCann. Duff. It's more neat passing by Burnley. Duff's deep cross.
It's well defended, but it's disappointing. Duff, lots more space to get better quality than that in. Took a little nick, it's a corner. Of course, the last thing Sheffield United can afford to do is to concede a second. And it really would be a long way back.
It's a Burnley corner. And they've assembled their cavalry. Good dart from Caldwell into the box. It's over his head. McCann is over the bar.
It's a decent chance, isn't it? Having got there, but Graham Alexander was involved in a bit of controversy. Mike Dean had a decision to make here. As Graham Alexander is tracking Brian Howard. Howard gets the wrong side, and is there contact there? Does the left thigh of The left knee of Alexander just catches Brian Howard on the back there. Now, you've seen them given. It would have been a big call, but you can understand why his frustration. He would have felt that contact. He would have wanted a penalty for that, but Mike Dean, as I say, can't give it if he's not absolutely certain.
Sheffield United shape for another one of those long throws. Back Alexander, back where it came from. The teenager Kyle Walker, England under-19 international, will launch this one again. Cottrell has his pockets picked by Wade Elliott. And again, his intention is to go for the jugular, but he's going to be pulled back. Mike Dean has spoiled Burnley's intention there.
Well, my initial reaction is I thought Burnley had nicked it fairly and they were away. What a real good break. Robbie Blake is making that point. Didn't seem to be an awful lot wrong with the challenge. However, Sheffield United get themselves a free kick in a very dangerous area. Chance to get a bit more quality in there.
Yeah, optimism at one end quickly turned into concern at the other for Burnley. Looking delivery, Morgan the intended target, either that or the top corner, but neither satisfactorily picked out by Brian Howard.
He's got to give his teammates much more of a chance of getting on the end of that. That's really disappointing by Brian Howard's high standards.
This little part of the Morgan-Thompson battle goes Thompson's way. And a shrill blast on Mike Dean's whistle. And Robbie Blake. We've learned to expect the unexpected from him from these sort of situations, haven't we, over the course of the season?
Duff around the back. It's well worked. Decent movement. Just managed to get enough of a challenge to put him off.
Not the last massive final we have for you this week. European Cup final. Manchester United against Barcelona in Rome. Sky Sports 1 and HD 1. The coverage starts at 6 o'clock.
Clark Carlisle has just flown into Alford there. He was never ever going to get there. And right through the back. He led with his leg. He actually kicked him while in mid-air, and Mike Dean spotted it instantly. He's booked him. So a long way to go if you're a central defender.
3/4 of the match to be precise. Kilgallen with the resulting free kick. Looking for Morgan. Crowded out by Burnley. Kyle Norton. Great run by Norton. And he's got the corner for his side. Just the sort of lift that Sheffield United are looking for here.
Well, Chris McCann took a hefty blow there, and he's down. And of course, his team have got a corner to defend, and he may have to go off. As this is cleared, really see what happens there. Very difficult to see, but he's obviously in a lot of pain there. Just wonder if he's tweaked a muscle.
As they ascertain the situation, look for an early diagnosis here, the Burnley medical staff. He's writhing around in agony. It's that right leg of his. He can't get on with things, of course, because he's right in the battle area.
Spraying the old magic spray on the knee there. There didn't appear to be any contact from the Sheffield United challenge, which makes it a little bit more concerning. See the pain on his face.
Still not looking so promising, is it? And we've got Joey Good-Johnson among the substitutes, Kevin McDonald, midfield areas, Chris Eagles even, if the news is bad, for Chris McCann. Well, the news so far is good for Burnley, isn't it? And if this goes to form, those playoff final habits that we were talking about in the Championship, 4 of the last 5 1-0 wins, the job is done for Burnley somehow. You don't think so, though.
With so much time remaining, I think we know there will be twists and turns, there will be opportunities. Which way they're going to go?
Drills it low. And Gilgallen attacked it well, just as Thompson defended it well. Now Blake on the break for Burnley. He's got 3 for company, but still going. Now Cottrell. Thompson did fabulously well. The Scottish striker who's playing here at Wembley for the 3rd time in 13 months. Played in both FA Cup semi-final and final last season with Cardiff, Stephen Thompson. Another injury concern for Burnley.
Is that Chris McCann? Did he come on? And I think he's struggling, isn't he? He's tried to come back on and obviously still really feeling that.
Well, it looks like a change will have to be made, and there is Joey Good-Johnson, who came off injured himself in the playoff semi-final. That first leg against Reading is going to come on here at Wembley. His family have some legacy, a winning legacy as well. His dad, Gudjon Thordarson, won the Auto Windscreens Shield here when he was manager for Stoke. And for Chris McCann, this is a sad end to a day which has started so promisingly for Burnley. The 21-year-old Dubliner departs the main stage.
You've got a feel for Chris McCann, haven't you? So early in the game. However, if his boys can hang on to this, it will numb the pain a little bit.
He played a part in the build-up to the goal, didn't he, Chris McCann? So he has made some telling contribution before his early departure. And one of the points we were making earlier about this small squad being adaptable, it has to be, of course, over a 61-game season, 23 players fitting in. They have to replace each other every now and again, even though a large proportion of those down there have played upwards of 50 games this season for Burnley.
Looking at him, I'm thinking Craig Beattie, Sheffield United's lone striker. We haven't really seen that much of him, have we? He hasn't been able to get in the game. Cottrell once or twice, but Sheffield United, for all that territory that they've had, haven't really got their striking players or forward players on the ball in real quality possession.
Here comes Cottrell, try and put pay to that. Beattie is in the middle. Howard has gone forward to join him. Cut out almost at source there by Clark Carlisle.
Frustrating that, because there was no need to give a free kick away. That's the kind of thing that would frustrate your manager. They were under pressure, now it's gone.
Pretty impressive statistic, that one, for Burnley when they do take the lead. By the way, the one game that they did lose, you might remember it, that first leg at Spurs of the Carling Cup semi-final. All went drastically wrong for them in 22nd half minutes there. All experiences that Burnley have drawn on this season, their cup runs, the defeats of the likes of Fulham, Arsenal, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on penalties. Although there was massive disappointment, they've drawn on that and channeled it into this, as we heard Owen Coyle say before. This is the big one, this is the one they really want. They're in the box seat at the moment, could get better. Patterson! Very nearly adding to his collection of crackers.
Well, you could see the trajectory of the ball meant that Paddy Kenny wasn't going to get this had it been on target. Cuts inside lovely, and that's a really, really good effort. It was well over the goalkeeper. This is a perfect angle to see it. Just doesn't quite get the ball spinning enough and actually bending into the goal, but what a really, really good effort that is.
It's the only real standout piece of business that has been done as Owen Coyle has rebuilt the squad since taking over. This is his first full season in charge of Burnley, of course. Just over £1 million spent investing the money that they got from the sale of Kyle Lafferty to Rangers. He played a big part yesterday in winning the SPL title for them. Patterson trying to play his part, but denied by Montgomery. Chase here for Kyle Norton. Showed too much to Clark Carlisle. Here's Kilgallen.
Took a heavy one there. Clark Carlisle fully committed to the challenge. He was going at such pace, the young man. And they're saying the collided shoulders, and that's, you can see Kyle Norton holding his shoulder. There's the challenge. It's the landing, isn't it? Lands so heavily on that shoulder. Comes down with a force and really takes all the impact.
And Kyle Norton, such as his form been this season, that any serious injury, not just having repercussions for this match, but also for England in the under-21 championships up and coming this summer.
Oh, Wade Elliott on the ball there. What a dream occasion, what dream goal, dream strike this is. But he starts so deep, and then he's looking and he's got nowhere to go, so he thinks, oh no, I'll have a go, I'll take them on. He leaves Quinn and Montgomery in his wake, and then he cuts in lovely, and he plays a great ball to Chris McCann. And as it breaks to Wade Elliott, he passes the ball high and over Paddy Kenny and into the roof of the net. It's as good a goal as you're going to see. It's absolutely brilliant. And if it does turn out to be the winner, I don't think anybody will argue that it's a goal worthy of winning any game. But there is still an awful long way to go here.
Interesting to see that, Don, at the end of his celebration, just calming everyone down around him. He knows that that's a wonderful step, a magical step in the right direction, but he knows that there's so much to go, and indeed there is. Just about an hour of football left to be played here, but this last 20 minutes has been punctuated by a series of injuries. We've had the departure of Chris McCann, and now concern for Norton. It is the shin that's getting patched up there. As you saw, he got the ball, didn't he, Don, and then carried on into the shin.
Through, yeah, but he was down holding his shoulder, so I think they fixed the shoulder, checked it out, and then realised, yes, it was a heavy blow to the shin. But you can see there, Kevin Blackwell and his assistants just can't quite be happy with the quality on the ball that Sheffield United have delivered. They've had plenty of the ball, but they haven't really worked it anywhere near as well as they did against Preston in both playoff semi-finals. There's more to come from Sheffield United here.
Well, one of the points that Kevin Blackwell has consistently made, particularly in the run-in of the season, and it's not really about his side playing 4-5-1, it's about them fulfilling game plans, carrying out instructions, and although there was a strong start from them, the goal and indeed these breaks in play haven't really helped them settle or get any sort of pressure on the Burnley penalty area. Paddy Kenny, the only survivor from the Sheffield United side that started in Cardiff against Wolves back in 2003. Duff penalised this time. I'm sure there'll be an Owen Coyle's build-up in his manual on how to defeat Sheffield United. Don't give away too many of these free kicks in areas where they can get the big men forward. Cotterell to glide forward on this Wembley turf here. Montgomery. It's great defending by Blake because they really have mass numbers in the middle there, Sheffield United. Here's Thompson. executing the game plan perfectly, holding it up.
Well, we've had quite a few long-range shots, haven't we, in part of those 8 attempts at goal. It's quite an even game, isn't it, I would say, but the defining moment is that Wade Elliott strike that was literally unstoppable.
Morgan away, little flick from Montgomery. Beaten to the fight by Montgomery. And Norton showing no ill effects from that earlier injury. Greg Halford, perhaps he hasn't been able to get forward as much as Sheffield United would like. Howard, Cotterill. Pressured all the way, hunted down all the way by Calvin as the fullback. Clever reverse ball, Thompson offside though. Flag went up very quickly.
Well, that has got to be extremely close, I have to say. Looked like Stephen Thompson may just have timed his run to perfection as the ball's played. He has timed his run to perfection. And such fine lines, makes you wonder, doesn't it? The flag, there's a little delay and then the flag goes up, but that's a little bit unfortunate for Stephen Thompson and for Burnley.
They talk about these things levelling themselves up. Those looking from a Sheffield United perspective will point back to another of the first half key moments, their appeal for a penalty when Howard, as they claim, brought down by Graham Alexander, waved away by Mike Dean.
Well, I think Mike Dean would have been damned if he did and damned if he didn't, because it would have been a controversial one to give. Minimal contact.
He's not shy of awarding a penalty, is he, Mike Dean? He's awarded more Premier League penalties than any other referee this season. Now Beattie. Here's Quinn, top scorer incidentally for Sheffield United. Norton, this is where they like to see him. There's a little tug on the shirt there.
Well, if there wasn't, I don't really understand why he would go to ground, because he'd actually got past, hadn't he? He got himself to the touchline. As he goes past Duff, there's the arm. It's now the referee can't see that. He's pulled him down. See Mike Dean's position. He's blindside. It's actually not what you want to see, but it is very clever from Duff. Very experienced.
Some would call it experienced defending. Other would call it the use of the dark arts, shall we say. Either way, it's worked out in Burnley's favour. And so it's this first half, of course, thus far. Joey Good-Johnson, the first half substitute. To the wall that is Chris Morgan. The second wave propelled forward by Alexander. Now this is Blake. Thompson in the middle. Back comes Cotterill. Still he's going. Such a tricky customer, Robbie Blake. Thought he had the corner. Goal kick though, Sheffield United.
Well, he can't believe it, can he? Certain that it's a corner. Young Kyle Walker, he gets past him. Cotterill gets back and does well. And as he cuts inside, Walker clears it away. Tell me how that's not a corner.
Curious. Two previous Championship playoff finals for Sheffield United, 2 previous defeats. It's the first time that Burnley have ever been involved at the playoffs at this level. Here's Norton. He's been rubbing that arm after the awkward landing after the challenge from Clark Carlisle. More on that in a moment, because here's Quinn. Good-looking cross. The boos, you can hear a crowd of beast from the Burnley fans. That's his nickname.
What they'd do if they had to boo him. Boo beast. Not going to happen, is it? He's a real icon. Burnley.
Had a memorial sausage named after him by a local butcher after his heroics in the Carling Cup this season. What do you think, Don? The beast banger?
Beast banger indeed, yeah. I'll certainly be thrilled with the way this first 39 minutes or so have gone for him. Even though he's had a couple of shots to deal with, they've been really long-range efforts and no trouble at all, and he's had a couple of catches, but other than that, not much else to do for Brian Janssen in the goal. It's no concern, Kevin Blackwell.
No beast clanger.
No beast clanger. moving swiftly on. But they need to find more, don't they, Sheffield United? Certainly in the second half, as things stand at the minute, Kevin Blackwell has got a lot of organising, a lot of talking to do at half-time.
You do just wonder whether this failure to convert chances, particularly today, to create them, will end up costing them. Throughout the course of the season, the Sheffield United side, the players out there, scored 30 goals. Between them, the front pairing, Patterson and Thompson for Burnley, have scored 30 between them. More than double the number of goals in this Burnley side than that of Sheffield United. And at the moment, the one that counts has been put in the back of the net in sensational style by Wade Elliott.
They haven't got that prolific striker, have they, Sheffield United? They had James Beattie earlier on in the season, still the top scorer, isn't he? And yet he left in the January window.
No one in double figures for the league for them. Tells its own story. And the promise for Burnley here. Blake with the delivery. Glance by Montgomery. It's come back to Thompson. It's there. It's inviting, but it's a Sheffield United boot that gets to its first. It's away by Nick Montgomery, who caught a painful one as well.
Oh, indeed, there's so many stoppages, aren't there, in this last 10 or 15 minutes. Stoppages everywhere as he clears that away. Patterson just barges into him.
Well, they will hope that it's not going to be that refereeing decision that they're talking about at the end of play. Certainly the talking point as far as Sheffield United are concerned, the closing stages of this first half. It's another stoppage. Brian Howard penalised this time for that challenge.
Well, again, if Brian Howard has lunged in there, it's really silly because Mike Duff is simply clearing the ball away. Look, he's just kicking the ball away and Howard just has a little stamp and the follow-through catches him. And it's a silly one there, look, it's a silly one to give away because Burnley are on the back foot. Sheffield United would have a throw-in, level with the 18-yard box and be on the attack. But as it is, again, it's the pressure taken off Burnley, and that's constantly happening.
1-0 the scoreline here. 1-0 the scoreline when last they met at Turf Moor just over a month ago. There's one goal in it when they met just before Christmas, but that one was altogether a more end-to-end occasion, finished 3-2. Calvinus. Dundee United fullback Calvinus to Robbie Blake, twice a playoff final loser. Duff has got forward well. He was trying, in fairness, to angle that back across goal, wasn't he?
Well, he's an out ball, isn't he? He's been able to get forward easily down this right-hand side. And now Dave Cottrell has switched wings with Greg Halford, obviously not going as well as Kevin Blackwell would want. Just decided to try something just the last couple of minutes of the first half to get them going. They haven't really had any real momentum in the last 20-25 minutes.
Beattie unable to make the impact he was looking for. Clark Carlisle clears away.
He needs help. He's not going to be able to throw it far, is he? With that shoulder.
He's found Cottrell. In goes Elliott. Now Montgomery, wide.
Well, that's not his forte, is it? He's a destroyer. Breaks the play up, lovely for Sheffield United, but he's not really a goal scorer.
Yeah, of all the people that Kevin Blackwell would have liked to have seen it fall to in that sort of area, dare say Nick Montgomery was quite far down the list. October 2006, the last time Nick Montgomery wheeled away in celebration after a moment like that. Into the last minute of the first half then. Plenty of injuries in the first half though, so a fair tranche of added time should be added on here. Walker. Pressure on the teenager, who celebrates his 19th birthday next week. Celebration will be a lot more lively if Sheffield United can turn this around. Caldwell. Now for Johnson. This time it's his turn to be the midfielder to lead the charge. Patterson, as Burnley try to use the full width of Wembley. Elliott again, more good build-up. Thompson, and just wide. What a good move, though.
That is exactly what Burnley are all about. Really fast, neat passing. It's a super ball, isn't it? Look at the movement from Wade Elliott, and he wraps his foot around this lovely. It's a great ball at the far post, and Thompson is trying to knock that down for good Johnson, but in doing that, it drops so close to going into that corner of the net. And Matt Kilgallen, you'll see how close it is here. He's knocking it down for good Johnson, but it goes over everybody, and that could easily have nestled in that corner.
Well, in the first of the 3 added minutes, we had both managers say it beforehand, didn't we? It's about who was able to turn up, bringing more of their A-game, if you like, to the big stage. And you would have to say, closing stages of this first half, that honour would fall to Burnley. Sheffield United not been able to put themselves into that last third with any sort of menace, really.
I have to agree with that. I would say they've fallen well below the high standards this set against Preston in both semi-finals. Sheffield United kept the ball on the floor, passed it neatly. There were lots of movement from the midfield three. They got the ball out wide, took players on, got crosses in. It was all action, but we haven't seen that in this first half so far.
It can all change with the swing of a boot. A glance off ahead, that's what they'll hope here. The distance on the header. Montgomery trying to make something of it. And again, Mike Dean's whistle frustrates Sheffield United.
Very Beattie feels that he got the ball. He's saying, I poked the ball. First of all, as the flicks that up, doesn't he, Montgomery? And it does bounce up off Martin Patterson's thigh and onto his arm, but it's not deliberate. And then Craig Beattie comes in, gets penalised. He's been a big part of these playoffs, hasn't he, Martin Patterson? Remember the one he cleared off the line at 0-0 in the first leg against Reading? And smacked that one in, wonder goal. But the Majewski that all but sealed it.
And you could see the Reading heads go down after that, and then to have the Thompson one in such quick succession, that's when Owen Coyle and Burnley knew that they were coming here.
The Thompson one was just rubbing salt into the wounds, wasn't it?
The last minute of the added 3 here. As Don said earlier, surely more to come from Sheffield United, but they do need to be shaken up a little at half-time, you feel?
Oh, I feel they will be.
Here's Blake. Walker for Sheffield United. Caldwell's header. Half-time whistle. No half measures from Wade Elliott as he burst forward here and scored an absolutely wonderful goal that was largely of his own creation as well. That is the difference here at half-time at Wembley in the Championship playoff final. So far, so good for Burnley. Sheffield United need to find a way back. Burnley 1, Sheffield United 0.
And an awful lot for the Blades to do in the second half. Mike Dean once again at the centre of things. We'll have a look at that penalty decision in just a moment. We've got plenty of playoff and promotion experience here in the studio with Kevin Phillips, Billy Davis and Peter Beagrie. Their thoughts on that first half. When we come back, it was Windass the difference last year and Wade so far the difference this. Burnley have the lead. They are 45 minutes from a long-awaited return to the top tier of English football.
#1 provincial rugby competition in the world. Across 3 nations, they have travelled, lifted off, and touched down. And now, it comes to an end.
The Super 14 Rugby Finals.
Every game live and exclusive.
Oh, this is brilliant, and this is outstanding.
Alerte en France, alerte en France. Grand chelem de tennis sur les cours de terre battue de Roland-Garros.
May 24 to June 7, the French Open is transmitting live and in high definition on Fox Sports.
Un tournoi de champions au cœur de Paris.
Day 1 to the final point, unrivaled Grand Slam coverage being direct from the heart of Paris. The French Open, now playing live and in high definition on Fox Sports.
This just in, Danny and the Dingo are heading to 9 cities around the country in search of the new amateur grenade team rider.
Thursdays on Fuel TV, get ready for the ride of your life as Olympic medalist Danny Cass and the Dingo hit the road.
We have a problem. We're kicking everyone out of the hotel.
Woo! In search of real good times.
Love you!
And the hottest snowboard talent the U.S. has to offer. The Adventures of Danny and the Dingo, Thursdays on Fuel TV.
Hey!
I love New York.
He's one of the world's most controversial sporting superstars. And now he's about to make his professional boxing debut.
My pro debut fight. I've never been in the ring before.
Sonny Bill Williams laces up the gloves as the main feature on the WBA KO to Drugs undercard. When Anthony Mundine goes for his 3rd world title against Daniel Geale.
I gotta keep winning, make statements.
Geale v Mundine. Live tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. See it on Main Event or at your Fox Sports venue.
The good old boys of NASCAR are back live on Fox Sports. And for the very first time, an Aussie's in with a shot.
Ambrose now has Montoya right on his rear bumper. What a performance by Marcus Ambrose.
The man is a road racer extraordinaire.
But it's been a lot of fun and it's just been a real blast.
There's your checkered flag, baby. Yeah, baby!
The 2009 NASCAR Series, live on Fox Sports.
Oh, yeah!
Bedola found like this CD just lying in the locker. It was just lying there. Talking here about department heads and their names, and it's these files, man.
I'm not comfortable with this.
The raw intelligence.
This is our opportunity. You don't get many of these.
I got his number. I got his number.
Osborne Cox. Who am I speaking to? 2 clowns. I've gotten hold of my memoirs.
Well, why in God's name would anyone think that's worth anything?
You have money. What you're engaged in is blackmail. They have computer files from an ex-analyst. They all seem to be sleeping with each other.
You always wear a condom, right?
That's right. It's on to plan B.
The Russians?
That's just a taste.
PC or Mac?
PC.
Report back to me when, I don't know, when it makes sense.
Burn after reading. Order it now on Foxtel Box Office pay-per-view and HD on demand.
This is the story of macho music and the magic beat. Every amigo and his pony wants it.
You trying to steal my V?
No, señor. Voy a robar tu V. ¿Estás bien con eso?
Not really. I like it. It's magic. And it's mine.
¿Qué tienen en el V?
Mucho music.
Mucho music?
All the V plays is mucho music every Friday and Sundays. And every Friday, I get party tunes with Thank It's Friday.
Viernes hoy.
Thank.
No se habla así en frente de una mujer. ¿Qué toca?
¿Quién eres?
No te hablo a ti, hombre caballito. ¿Qué toca?
It plays non-stop V on Sundays. It's good music.
Música muy buena.
Is it worth dying for?
Macho music, me on Channel V. It's music worth dying for, amigo.
When Select asked me to interview Brian McFadden, I naturally thought it would be an environment like this one. But then it hit me. He's got a passion outside of the studio as well. Brian McFadden, welcome to Select.
Thank you.
You're about to embark on the 2nd series of Football Superstar.
Yes.
Now, when the first series was announced, what was the reaction?
I think a few people were surprised I was going to do it because I think TV hosting was never something I really wanted to do, but as soon as someone said I could play football every day, that was it, it was sold.
Everyone thinks of football superstar, you've just got to be the best footballer, but it's not just being about the best footballer you can be. There's other aspects to the show as well.
There's so much more to the show. There's so many other activities and events the guys have to succeed at. And some people might sit there and go, well, what does, let's say, doing an army assault course, what's that got to do with football? But it just shows your work rate, your effort, and your ability to fit in. So there was probably 2 guys in the show last year who were naturally superstars, but they really had a bad attitude and they got kicked out of the show pretty early on. And maybe even the guy that won it probably wasn't the most naturally talented footballer, but he just had the ultimate package. He was professional, he was tuned in, and I think there's a lot more to football superstar than just being a great footballer. You know, you really have to, you've got to show maturity at a really young age.
How competitive does it get? Because I'm sure there's so much at stake.
It's ridiculous how competitive it gets, and there's one spot, you know, there's going to be 10 guys in the house and there's one spot, and it does get quite bitchy. It becomes a bit of a, you know, like Australia's Next Top Model or one of those shows, but you know, a lot of the kids will learn from last year's show and what they have to do this year.
And finally, I've heard you're working with a pretty cool new co-host. Tell me a bit about her.
It's you. I don't know yet. I'm still undecided yet. Pretty good, pretty good.
The new series of Football Superstar kicks off on Fox 8, May 27. And it goes without saying you can catch more football action on Fox Sports with the Barclays Premier League. Plus, you can read all about Football Superstar in the May edition of your subscriber magazine. I'm Lee Furlong, and you've been watching Select.
Morgan now for Sheffield United. Kyle Walker. Montgomery. Kilgallen. He doesn't feel the pain of playoff defeat like he did for Kevin Blackwell's Leeds at the hands of Watford 3 seasons ago. Howard making the run along that Burnley back line. Elliott and Alexander trying to pick out Joey Good-Johnson, but it's Sheffield United who'll come again. Montgomery. Cottrell. Calvinez has come across. Kyle Walker. Challenge from Calvinez. It's still in. It's still Cottrell. Just got the touch there, Clark Carlisle. And BT was waiting behind him. It's getting better for Sheffield United.
I think this is about the loudest we've heard the Sheffield United fans all afternoon. BT just waiting for that to drop, and it's a really important touch by Clark Carlisle. Now, can they produce something? They haven't really threatened, have they, from the set pieces?
Well, they're mixing it up a little bit. Different corner kick routine here. A dart of movement that is drilled in by Cottrell. It's a Sheffield United head that met it, but couldn't power it goalwards. Greg Halford, the scorer in the semi-final.
All that promise, all that movement, just ends up a really easy, simple take for Brian Jensen. Still hasn't had to make a serious save, has he? I'm sure he would have expected more at him than he's had so far.
May yet get it. Morgan.
And once again, Halford and Cottrell swap sides because they're just not getting any change out of the 2 fullbacks.
And maybe the fullbacks will provide the key. Sadly given a brief to get forward more in this second half, Norton, because doing that provided Sheffield United with so much ammunition throughout the season. Patterson. Good-Johnson, he's got a lot of space in that heart of midfield for Burnley. Back to Patterson. Thompson waits in the middle. Joey Good-Johnson in there too. Thompson! Good-Johnson! Oh! Montgomery turns it away. Massive moment in this playoff final.
Wow, I think massive moment. I think that could be an understatement, because this has to be, it simply has to be 2-0. It's a brilliant ball, a great knockdown. He must think this is it. And it hits Nick Montgomery on the back leg. It goes past the first leg, hits him on the back leg, and goes agonisingly wide for Burnley Football Club.
Here comes the corner. Montgomery again with the touch. Not a one that they were particularly looking for. Morgan got it out of immediate danger. Well, having missed the chance, they don't want to miss the overall opportunity here, Burnley, keeping the pressure on this penalty area.
Well, we saw yesterday, didn't we? In League One, Graham Alexander, golden opportunity, and it came back to bite him on the bum. Oh, Joey Good-Johnson will be hoping that doesn't happen.
Burnley, narrowed in again. Clark Carlisle in there, took a swing at it. Caldwell, Sheffield United stand strong. Here's Graham Alexander. Now Blake. Real tussle of youth against experience here. The 33-year-old taking on the 18-year-old. In comes Montgomery.
Well, that's frustration. That's silly. Nick Montgomery has got enough experience not to dive in there. That is absolutely stupid. However, his goal line clearance is the thing that's kept his team in this for me.
10 minutes into this second half. Burnley looking to put this matter to bed early on. Blake to deliver. Caldwell's across there. Kilgallen's touch.
Well, this is what we expected from Sheffield United, isn't it? We thought the red and whites would come out, put Burnley under a bit of pressure. But if anybody's looking likely to get the next goal, it's the men from Turf Moor.
The Lancastrians piling on the pressure on their rivals from across the Pennines. Blake again. I think that came off Morgan. It's going to be another corner.
You can see the frustration on the faces of Sheffield United players, can't you? They've got to rally. They've got to see this wave of pressure through and rally themselves.
As far as they're concerned, this was not how it was supposed to be. Blake launches it in again. Thompson, well marked by Halford. Montgomery, still they can't get out. In goes Elliott. Quinn. Howard the most advanced for Sheffield United. Now Blake, what a good first touch that was. Very nearly opened it up. Just got away from him though.
He's got a brilliant touch, hasn't he? First touch is as good as anybody's.
And they're ready to make that change. You do sense if he was fit enough, he would have started Jamie Ward. He's going to come on and get the best part of half an hour. That's Thompson's header, that's Joey Good-Johnson. And again, his hook goalwards doesn't reap dividends.
Well, they need to do something, don't they, Sheffield United, because they're really not in this game.
Indeed it is Cotterill. And indeed it is Ward. The young man, Jamie Ward, who was signed in January. Well, as a like-for-like replacement for James Beattie, but certainly to make up the numbers in the striking department.
Well, he's a live wire, isn't he? And he's got a goal in him. And that's the big thing. How Sheffield United need one.
From League 2 football with Chesterfield to potential Premier League football, if he can help mastermind a Sheffield United turnaround. Not just in scoreline, but also in fortune and momentum. It's starting to get away from them in the last few minutes. Duff's header came off Norton. Very nearly fell for Howard. BT closing in as well. Can Sheffield United start to ask some questions? Patterson away, Thompson the most advanced. Thompson's persistence pays off.
I just wonder if the introduction of Jamie Ward means that Sheffield United are going to go even more direct and try and get in behind the Burnley central defenders. They just simply haven't got in behind them at all for the entirety of this game.
Beattie is the target. Caldwell wins the day again. With 2 on Halford. Calvin is away. Kilgallen. Stephen Quinn. Clever ball in towards Howard.
As well marshalled by Mark Carlisle. The two central defenders are being great, but Nick Montgomery, Kevin Blackwell will be hoping that this will be the defining moment in this playoff final, because that is brilliant defending. Gets himself in the right position, gets a little bit of luck because it hits him on the back leg. But if he's not in that position to save that, I think Burnley are there, and Owen Coyle probably think that as well, looking at that.
Well, he doesn't score goals, but he prevents goals. And in the grand scheme of things, just as important, of course.
Burnley are leading in the game, they're leading on attempts, and Sheffield United's significant thing about that is they still have only had those two pretty tame long-range efforts at goal. Nothing in the second half. You would have expected them to come out and really try and throw the kitchen sink at Burnley, and it hasn't happened yet.
The crowd playing their part here. The 24 sides in the Coca-Cola Championship. Burnley have the 21st lowest attendance, but they've sold their allocation. Could have sold even more here. Almost 40,000 coming from Lancashire. Sheffield United less of a problem. They have the second highest average attendance in the Championship. Much larger fan base as well, but of course they brought their travelling army between them. You can sense that times are starting to get crucial. Well inside the last half hour now of this final. Here's Craig Beattie, looks for movement in the middle. Came from Ward, but the ball wasn't there for him to attack. Take two, it's Howard.
That's big Carlisle. That looked like it went out, didn't it? Yeah. Throw-in. Checking Mike Dean with the assistant on this side. Did it go for a corner? No, it's a throw-in. Chris Morgan on his way there into the area.
Morgan ducked to try and get a touch. Optimistic calls for handball. Now Thompson. This one here was really a kick and chase. It's Twickenham style here at Wembley.
I have to give credit to Burnley's midfield players. They are not letting Sheffield United breathe, and Kevin Blackwell, you can see, animated. His team aren't getting their foot on the ball. He needs more. He's asking for more.
Blake. Some words with the bench a few moments ago, Robbie Blake. There was concern that he might be carrying something of an injury, but he looks to be moving relatively well now. Certainly a massive blow if he had to come off. They do have Chris Eagles among their substitutes, of course. One injury substitution already required by Burnley with the early departure of Chris McCann, of course.
Unbalanced them in any way, shape or form, has it? Joey Good-Johnson has come on, slotted straight in. And look, probably more comfortable, Burnley, than they would have expected to be at this stage of proceedings.
He's one of those in the Burnley side with experience of playing in the Premier League. Alexander, Seventh playoff, never been promoted, of course. Now Joey Johnson, who has a wonderful shot on him. He's not going to get a chance to unleash one, though. Ward providing the sort of energy that Kevin Blackwell hoped that he might do. Terrific challenge, that by Patterson, of all people. Elliott left it behind this time. Kilgallen can collect. Kyle Norton. Ward almost tied himself in knots in keeping that in. Now, break on here. Robbie Blake in the middle. Thompson gets his head up. It's Robbie Blake! Oh, what a wonderful challenge by Walker. Absolutely unbelievable.
Well, he's atoned for his mistake, the young man. He did not track Robbie Blake. He didn't see him. Have a look as this ball breaks. It's a brilliant decision by the assistant referee. Now have a look at Robbie Blake arriving at the top of the screen, and look at Walker's pace to get back and get that tackle in. Is that another key moment? Because that has just kept them in the game again. Absolutely brilliant. He switched off for a second, but his pace got him out of trouble.
Kyle Walker with a contribution of absolutely epic proportions there. So we approach the three-quarter mark of this match. Blake with the corner.
He's not moving too well, is he, Robbie Blake? Stretching down there in the corner flag, and I think he's taking some liquid carbohydrates as well.
Well, unlike Graham Alexander, he hasn't started every game like Graham Alexander. He has played in every game, Robbie Blake. Is it catching up with him finally in match number 61 of the season for him? Well, he thought he'd scored, didn't he? He was all ready to stroke it home and surely guide Burnley home. We'll leave the corner to Joey Johnson, another telling sign that all is not well with Blake. Elliott takes a touch, and it's wonderfully charged down by Walker again. Albanese steadied himself, able to get in there ahead of Jamie Ward.
Very imaginative set piece, wasn't it? Acres of space, lots of movement, left the space. Good block. Kyle Walker.
Patterson. Duff on the overlap. Robbie Blake currently a passenger, trying to stretch off whatever ailment he has.
That's a hamstring stretch he's performing down there. Can't take any risks with that.
He's down on the ground, so Burnley down to 10. Sheffield United still 1 down. Wade Elliott's goal early in the second half. It's a wonderful run by Walker. Down he goes in the box, waved away by Mike Dean.
Oh, there's another one. There's another one. Decision to be made. He was in a good position, the referee. So Robbie Blake's going to get some treatment. Kevin Blackwell is going to fume. And Mike Dean, the calmest man in the stadium. It's a wonderful run by Walker. And is there a little coming together? Calvin as he leans in to Kyle Walker, and at that speed, you've seen them given. I have to say, uses his body. Calvinez, arm across, leans in. You've seen them given, but look, Mike Dean again, if anything, it's on the blind side, and he hasn't seen enough to give it. Again, Burnley breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, there was one in the first half, there's now one in the second half. And as expected, Robbie Blake unable to continue. He leaves the pitch, a championship player, and he next returns to it. Will he be a Premier League player once again? Another bite at the big time at the age of 33. One man who has bred in Premier League surroundings will replace him, Chris Eagles, product of Manchester United's academy.
Well, he's another super talented player, isn't he? He's had a great afternoon, Robbie Blake. Great touch, great skill, and this man too possesses the same kind of attributes.
Just a reminder that the Champions League final is live for you. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock from the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Barcelona against Manchester United, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Will Burnley be making the short trip into Greater Manchester next season to take on Alex Ferguson's champions at Old Trafford? At the moment, the answer is yes. It's 20 minutes away from being rubber-stamped. Chris Eagles closes in a return for him to his parent club, of course, very much in the offing. The only concern for Burnley, and they are exactly where they want to be, is that they haven't taken those two glorious chances, as you do to Sheffield United. Stubborn defending, refusal to give up what looked like lost causes. This is terrific work by Kyle Norton.
At the minute, the two fullbacks, the two young fullbacks, look the most likely for Sheffield United, don't they? Bombing forward from the flanks.
Two lads, both Sheffield born, leading the charge. This is Kilgallen, the former Leeds lad, of course. And they go in the box again. And Ward looks at the referee. This is better from Sheffield United. More tempo. Another look towards the referee as Montgomery goes in this time. If they keep on asking, they might eventually get one. Seems to be the philosophy at the moment.
I think it's the crowd asking the referee more than the players at the minute. Certainly for that one from Nick Montgomery.
I've been waiting for Sheffield United to really get into the game. Is that going to happen now? Jamie Ward, the beast, loomed large in his eye line, and he fired it straight at the big Danish keeper.
Well, he charged out, didn't he? And he never got there, the big goalkeeper. I just wonder if Jamie Ward knew he got a shout.
Here is Ward. Goal kick. The pressure that Sheffield United were looking to build is just lessened slightly by Burnley. I can confirm word from the Burnley bench that it is a hamstring strain for Robbie Blake. Another change to that front line. Stephen Thompson. Another Wembley visit for him. He'll be on the winning side like he was for Cardiff in the semi-final here against Barnsley last season. Jay Rodriguez, who has a habit of coming off the bench and making spectacular impacts. It was he who scored against Tottenham in that 3-0 home win over 90 minutes in the Carling Cup. Took it to extra time before Tottenham eventually bit back to deny Burnley what would have been the first Wembley visit of the season.
They are really set up, aren't they now, for counter-attacking football, Burnley. They are always been very good at it, but Rodriguez probably got a bit more pace than Thompson as Sheffield United go looking. I just wonder whether the young man will get some space in behind to exploit.
Walker, who has really come to the party in these last few moments. Eagles, who looked to have plenty of the ball. The free kick has gone against him, though. Kilgallen, Quinn.
As a manager, you can't legislate for that, can you? It's really, really slack. No reason for that ball to be lost control of. The momentum goes again.
Rodriguez. The youth products of Burnley just kind of cleverly blocked off there by Morgan to make sure he couldn't get a run on Paddy Kenny. Ward used his hand to get the better of Carlisle. Well, they've been so solid, haven't they, the central pairing, that they need to do something like that to beat them in the air.
They have been quite outstanding. Caldwell and Carlisle. There's the arm up in the air. Never ever going to get away with that.
Header, Carlisle's clearance. Chase for the man they call J-Rod.
pre-season were a team that leaked goals, but certainly towards the end tightened up, became better organised, and they've had 5 clean sheets in the last 7 games, and 1 more, they will be a Premier League team.
Over the course of the season, just the league season, they conceded 21 goals more than Sheffield United. Only Birmingham City with a better defence than the Blades. It's been breached once. At the moment, that is the all-important statistic. Walker, just not going to give it up. Wade Elliott sides him down.
Blatant, wasn't it? Wade Elliott realised that Walker's got the pace to run away from him. Decided a foul was the best course of action, but just means it's another set piece to defend, and they haven't hit the heights yet, Sheffield United, from set pieces, but we know that they are more than capable.
Beattie and Ward in there, Howard to deliver. Well got his head to it first, the Burnley captain, now Eagles. They try to take him down, but they can't do so. Look at that run from Patterson on the far side. He's on his own at the moment, Martin Patterson, 2 for company, but he's full of confidence. It's Patterson for Burnley. Another fantastic block, this time by Norton.
It's just end-to-end now, isn't it, as both these teams go for it.
The championship season building to a sensational climax here at Wembley. Calvinez. Ward. He's found Howard, steadies himself, shoots, Carlisle deflects away.
Well, he's been a rock, hasn't he? Clark Carlisle, keep saying it, him. Stephen Caldwell, the skipper. Anything that Sheffield United have thrown at them, they've dealt with.
So near now, Burnley. So near. But 13 of the longest minutes of that 33-year gap that they have had without top-flight football. These last 13 minutes will seem like 50 years. Carlisle's header again. Patterson away. It's going to come back. Burnley have pulled everyone back. Montgomery. Walker. Won by Morgan.
It's too high. Couldn't knock it down in the direction that he wanted, the big skipper. Kyle Norton again. This time Patterson does really well. Twists and turns, and that's a brilliant block by the young man. I have to say, the 2 fullbacks for me have very, very possibly been the best Sheffield United players on the pitch.
Alexander. Elliott. Trying to man the defences, then occasionally giving away these free kicks. Kilgallen, clever ball, Jamie Ward! Flag is up, another use of the hand.
Well, he's got to be careful, is Mike Dean's going to send him off here?
He's sent off, 2 deliberate handballs. Jamie Ward off the bench and handing his way off the pitch. Mike Dean saying he has no choice. And by the letter of the law, he's absolutely right.
Well, is that Sheffield United's Premier League dreams going up in smoke? I mean, you don't want to remind people, but you have to remind people that Mike Dean sent off Matt Kilgallen in controversial circumstances in the Sheffield derby. Is this controversial? No, it's not. It's a deliberate handball, and I don't think the referee has got any choice whatsoever than to send young Jamie Ward off the field of play. It's highly unfortunate, but the referee's got no choice.
11 minutes on the pitch. That's all for Jamie Ward. A red card from Mike Dean for a Sheffield United player. They may well point to 2 penalty appeals that got away from them as well. The fact is, 10 minutes to go. at Wembley Stadium. Burnley 1, Sheffield United 0. Burnley 10 minutes away from the Premier League. Sheffield United 10 minutes away from another season of Championship football, and they have to find a way back without one of their most promising strikers.
Well, the Burnley supporters are bouncing. I just get the feeling they think that's it, and that is a dangerous attitude to have. I can tell you, we have seen teams frequently with 10 men manage to get a goal, and that's all Sheffield United still need.
BT, chance for him to charge into the box, uses his pace to good effect, but looks like he's overrun it. He has.
And that's the first time, isn't it? That is the first time we've seen Craig Beattie explode into life. And we're 10 minutes from the end, and you've got to question, why is that? Clearly got the beating of Clark Carlisle for pace, but he overruns that one. That's the kind of thing he needs to be looking to doing in this last 10 minutes. He's got to get in behind those Burnley defence.
What a season it has been for Burnley so far. And they are within touching distance of the most sensational of climaxes. Another factor, of course, even if they are able to get the equaliser, Sheffield United will have to play extra time if it goes to that with 10 men. Well, Brian Howard's afternoon is over. And Arturo Lupoli, former Arsenal trainee, he's on loan from Fiorentina at Sheffield United. He's going to come on to try and add a little something up front. Goodness me, do they need it now, Sheffield United.
Oh, Kevin Blackwell had to gamble, didn't he? Had to bring a more forward-thinking player on. Been caught offside from a free kick. Should never happen either.
There's time, and where there's time, there's hope for Sheffield United, even though the odds are increasingly stacked against them. Yet to really have a meaningful effort on target. A couple of penalty appeals, about as good as it has got for them in goal-scoring terms, but they only need one slip by a pretty impervious defence so far from Burnley.
It's going to take a little bit more than they've shown so far, isn't it? Brian Jensen in the Burnley goal, no significant save. And we can look at goal line clearances, last-ditch blocks by Sheffield United defenders, but we can't look at anything like that from a Sheffield United attacking point of view.
Montgomery. Oh, he's dispossessed in a really key area by Jay Rodriguez, and the young substitutes are starting to encroach on goal here. Rodriguez just couldn't get the angle, though, to bring Chris Eagles in.
Well, the game's going to get stretched now, isn't it? Look at the distance between the back lines of each team. It's a real open game, and it has to be from a Sheffield United perspective.
BT trying to feed it in behind. Now Eagles. I wouldn't think he'll be able to outrun Walker. Indeed, that is the case. The teenager bites back at him.
Sheffield United, look at that in the second half. They've dominated the possession, but they just haven't been able to use it. And that has been the thing that may come back to haunt them. They haven't created chances.
Alvarez. Rodriguez. Alexander. Eagles. Floated in for Elliott.
I'm not sure his manager will be pleased with that decision. Good possession. That's what they want to do now. Owen Coyle will want Burnley to keep that football.
Well, Lee Hendry is the final throw of the Sheffield United dice. Stephen Quick comes off just to try and get some legs, some running into that midfield, some energy. Any sort of catalyst for these final 5 minutes. sitting in that dressing room now in the bowels of Wembley Stadium. How must Jamie Ward be feeling? First ever player sent off in a Championship playoff final. And Sheffield United, what they hoped would be third time lucky. Look like it'll be same old story for them, beaten again at the final hurdle at this level. They've got under 5 minutes now to do something about it, to turn the tide back in their favour. Well, 22 years ago, this very month, a win for Burnley against Leyton Orient on the final day of the Division 4 season preserved their league status. They were teetering on the brink. Now they're on the sort of brink that every single side in the Championship, indeed in the Football League, dreams about. Premier League football. 5 minutes away from the big names, the biggest names in the game, walking out at Turf Moor. They just need to see it through. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Knew he was offside there, Jay Rodriguez.
They can't do anything intricate now. Sheffield United, it's just got to be lumped up high and into the dangerous areas.
Well, you've been in this situation, Dom, the closing minutes of a playoff final in the league. What's going through your head now, I suppose, trying to focus on the job with...
Oh, it's probably the only time in your life that you're wishing your life away, to be honest, just for the next 4, 5, 6 minutes.
Phil Gallen's header.
Complaining about everything now. I think it smacks of desperation, to be honest with you. And at this stage of proceedings, you are going to be desperate. You can forgive it. Caldwell's very tight. He got a fistful of shirt. They're both fighting each other. But it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Is that a prayer? Or is it just a hope? Or is it they wishing their lives away, like Don was talking about? Either way, it's tantalising now, isn't it? Or it is terrible. Here's Eagles. Chris Eagles is away here for Burnley. He's got Patterson to his right. Eagles might go for glory himself. Fouled at the final hurdle by the Sheffield United captain.
Well, he had a chance to pull the trigger or slot Martin Patterson. He chose neither, delayed it. Now his team are defending.
Montgomery. Walker looks absolutely shattered now after getting up and down all game. Here he is on the ball.
He's got nothing left, does he, the young lad? Given everything. Norton is now playing on the right wing, the other youngster. Trying absolutely everything, Sheffield United.
Eagles hope that Rodriguez would be making the run. He might have felt he was in an offside position again. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left. All the noise you can hear is coming from the end of Wembley that is this afternoon a little part of Lancashire. They've had a love affair with the capital this season, haven't they, Burnley? It's about to blossom into full-blown passion.
Carlisle again at the near post, putting out the danger. Absolutely outstanding.
You want to know what tension looks like? That's it. Rodriguez. Play will go on. 50-50 challenge involving Montgomery. Here's Morgan. And Calvinez has given away a free kick. Clattered his man now.
A clash of heads, is it? Certainly flew into the young man. The fullback Calvinez flies in, look. Eventually there's a bad clash of heads there, look.
Well, Calvinez clearly got a blow. Norton clearly got the worst of it.
They've got nobody to bring on either, is it? They've used all the substitutes up, so they will be desperate. as they are desperate.
Well, unless your side can find a goal, it's not going to feel any better than that, I'm afraid. Yellow card for Calvinez for that challenge. Well, they're just waiting to see how lengthy this layoff is going to be. Lee Probert, 5 minutes signalled by the fourth official there.
Whatever it is, we still haven't resumed play yet, have we? So it might even be a little smidgen more than that.
Either way, when play does resume, this is a mouth-watering situation for Sheffield United. Confirmation of the 5. Cheers from one end of Wembley, groans from the other.
This is where Sheffield United wish they had a Cristiano Ronaldo, don't they?
And instead they got Greg Halford or Lee Hendry. Halford will drive it. Goodness me, he drove it as well. Good Johnson saying he couldn't do anything about it, even if it did hit his hand. And Burnley can break.
Well, if they get this right, Sheffield United, it's over.
It's Wade Elliott. Patterson screaming for it. Patterson getting it. Again, the last line of defence is massively effective for Sheffield United.
Oh, what an opportunity, but once again, let's give credit to Nick Montgomery. It was 3 against 2, and he timed it again to perfection. But he's telling referee Mike Dean, look, they're not rushing this.
And to be fair, you wouldn't expect them to at this stage.
If the shoe was on the other foot, you know exactly what would be going on.
Last year it was Dean Windass, the year before it was Stephen Pearson, the names who are now etched in the club folklore of their respective sides. Wade Elliott under 3 minutes away now from joining them, joining those famous names of Burnley, Jimmy Adamson, Jimmy McElroy, those two midfielders from that 1960 winning side. Champions of the land 50 years ago. Looks like they'll celebrate their 50-year anniversary as a top-flight club. How fitting would that be?
They're doing everything right, aren't they, Burnley? In fact, well, they have done most everything right for the entire 90-odd minutes.
Pretty much the entire 10 months of the Coca-Cola Championship season. Shaky start for them. Failure to win in effectively the first month of the season. Blip where they lost 5 consecutive league games in and around their Coca-Cola Cup semi-final exploits against Spurs. But other than that, it has been upward momentum. And they're about to scale the peaks in 90 seconds' time. We will hear a Burnley roar that hasn't been heard since the glory days back in black and white.
Carlisle's head again, isn't it? Anything that Sheffield United have thrown into that box, he and Captain Caldwell have dealt with it. Every single thing. It's been a rock.
Walker. They just try to hit the front, look for the little break, the little bit of luck. It's not going to come.
You can see it's written all over every Sheffield face. I think they think that possibly is it.
Well, a fair few Sheffield United fans just down below us are starting to leave. They think it's it. Fair few Burnley fans the other side are about to explode.
Well, they won't be going anywhere, you can rest assured.
Elliott about to be given the freedom of the town, I'm sure. Free kick given away. It's desperate now from Sheffield United. The game is up for them.
It is. They are flying into the tackles, nowhere near the ball, stopping play. And that is only what Burnley want.
For the corner. And the corner is given. We're into the 6th minute of added time.
How long he's asking, Jay Rodriguez asking the assistant, how long? Surely that's it. It nearly is, son.
They don't want the corner, they want the final whistle. There will be a new name at the Premier League table next season. 33 years of absence. And Burnley will join the big guns next year. Scenes of momentous celebration from the Lancastrians here in North London. A season which has produced some memorable highs has just hit the biggest of all here at Wembley. And a goal that matches the occasion from Wade Elliott.
Oh, that's an understatement. But I tell you what, for every winner, there has to be a loser, and Wembley is not a place for losers, I can tell you that. It's only a place for winners. It's a very, very painful experience. But Wade Elliott, you have to say, that goal was worthy of winning any game. And I'll tell you what, he's not going to let go of that football, is he?
Well, it's another 1-0 win in a Championship playoff final. Sheffield United might have hoped that they've been able to redress the balance after so many close shaves at the back throughout the 90 minutes. Were they to get their chance? But their chance didn't come. That was due to sheer Burnley resilience, Burnley brilliance, if you like. They could have put it to bed. They had to wait till a slightly nervy 96th minute. Almost half the town's population is here at Wembley today, and goodness me, the mother of all parties is about to break out, thanks to that man. Started off in non-league football with Bashley Wade Elliott. Now he will be playing at those big arenas, those massive stadiums, those iconic names next season. It's wonderful stuff. Let's hear what Owen Coyle makes of it. He's down there with Bryn Law.
Owen, after 33 years, you're the man to take Burnley back into the big time.
Well, I might be the manager, but I think you've seen the effort the players gave us support today. It's been magnificent. I mean, I thought it was a great game end to end. We certainly had chances to put the game to bed. Sheffield United are always brave. They keep coming at you, even with 10 men. But I felt we were the winners of the day, and it's a great adventure to look forward to.
It's a great achievement, isn't it? You weren't well fancied at the outset, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows that in terms of the budget, revenue, everything we have. But I said before, we don't have quantity in terms of numbers. But I believe we have real quality. We have terrific experienced players allied to the younger players I've brought to the club, and it makes for a hell of a mix.
You seem very calm, not overly excited. What do you like inside?
Well, obviously I'm delighted with what we've achieved today. But I think it's important you conduct yourself the right way, win or lose. And, you know, it'll be great for us and we'll enjoy a moment we're all together. But my heart goes out to Sheffield United and their supporters, it really does. Because I know it could easily be nuts on the other side of that. So I think you have to take that into account. But in terms of being the manager of Burnley, yes, immense pride. And absolutely delighted for everybody in the town.
Congratulations, Owen.
Pleasure as always, thanks. Cheers.
The 43rd club, Burnley, to grace the Premier League. And next season, they're up against the might of Manchester, Merseyside, and the finest that London has as well. Let's get more reaction now. Two of the Burnley heroes, Wade Elliott and Clark Carlisle, with Greg Whelan.
Wade, many congratulations. Burnley are in the Premier League. Some of your emotions at this moment?
I think it'll take us a little while for it to sink in. Delighted for all the lads. I think if you go through it, we got people like Clarkie and Grezza who you couldn't think of many more people deserving for a crack at the Prem, so just delighted for everybody.
You scored some pretty special goals at the past in a Burnley shirt. How did that one rate today?
I think in the context of the importance, obviously there's no contest. It's far and away the best goal I'll probably ever score.
Was it pure instinct?
Yeah, it just sort of fell nicely. I couldn't really strike it because the ball was curving a little bit, so it seemed to take a long time to go in, but just a great feeling when it did. I wanted to run to my mum and dad are sat in the opposite corner. I thought about running up to them, but it was too hot.
Let's get a word with Clark Carlisle. A magnificent achievement for Burnley Football Club. How proud are you to play such a big part in it?
I'm privileged and I'm honoured to be a member of this magnificent team. What a season, you know, that words can't describe how brilliant and how awesome an achievement this is. I just thank God so much that I'm blessed to be a part of this team and part of this magnificent day.
You missed out with Watford. You were injured for the 2006 final. Does this make up for it?
It more than makes up for it, you know. It's just unbelievable. Gemma, Marley, Fran, I love you. This is all for you. It's awesome. Awesome.
Clark, you've had your problems in the past on a personal level.
Yeah.
Does something like this make you feel proud in yourself?
Yeah, you know, many thanks to Peter Kay, Sporting Chance and the PFA for sticking behind me, because without all of you guys, I wouldn't be stood here, blessed and privileged to be in this position. Thank everyone, and this team has just been magnificent. Look at these fans. What an awesome day. What an awesome day.
Well, congratulations to both of you. You're also the Powerade Man of the Match. Many congratulations to the Honest Folks. Well done, guys.
Well said, Clark Carlisle. Goodness me, you can see it's etched all over them what it means to them. They're playing in the Premier League next season. Peter Beagrie, can you put it into words?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It really is. Fantastic achievement, you know. Little old Burnley, everybody have been saying that. Achievement in itself, getting to the playoffs, never mind getting through them, getting to Wembley and putting on a performance. It did have craft and guile, but it had a strength, and the two centre-halves, you know, absolutely outstanding today. And that was the bedrock it was based on.
Billy Davis, did they deserve it today?
Yeah, I think they thoroughly deserved it. I think all season they've played very, very well. You know, they've kept a consistent side together, which has been great for Owen and his team. And I think on the day, they thoroughly deserved the victory.
Kevin Phillips here with us as well. What does it feel like to get promotion, Kevin? How are these players feeling?
I'm delighted. I'm delighted for the Burnley players, delighted for the Burnley supporters, and Owen Coyle especially. You know, he's worked with a very small squad this season, and to take them to the Premier League is an amazing achievement. These lads are really going to enjoy this evening, and it probably won't sink in till, you know, when you're sitting on holiday and you get the fixtures and you look at the first fixture we got. It's a fantastic achievement.
So they climb the steps to pick up their trophy, and to talk you through it, Bill Leslie.
Well, it's such a moment for Burnley, isn't it? You had it for Hull City here last season. They, of course, will be on the itinerary for Burnley, and they plan it all for the next 12 months. It was for the first time in their history. It'll feel like that for Burnley. Such a proud history. Twice they were champions of the land. The last time in 1960 under the managership of Jimmy Adamson. Now Owen Coyle, who has blazed a trail through English football since his appointment. A few eyebrows were raised when the Burnley hierarchy and the chairman Barry Kilby said, we've appointed the new Bill Shankly. Maybe people will start to take that a little more seriously now. The club with the fourth lowest resources in the Championship in terms of budget, the third lowest average attendance. You can bet Moor's going to be full week in, week out next season when the big names come to town. Stephen Caldwell, who had a crack at the Premier League, of course, started off at Newcastle United. Well, they're swapping places with the club where it all started for him. Smiles and celebrations all round. Just a look from Stephen Caldwell as he soaks up the moment. Graham Alexander, it's 7th time lucky for him, you know. 7 times he's tried, and finally he has succeeded. Burnley and the Premier League are together at last. And now it all seems worth the wait. The smallest squad in the Championship, the most united band of brothers in the Championship. They beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they beat Arsenal, Fulham and Spurs at home. Well, that's 10 points already for them next season, isn't it? Well, they've shown that on one-off occasions they can live with the best, they can beat the best. Now next year they have a chance to do it week in and week out. A squad much inherited, tweaked by Owen Coyle, one that I'm sure will have to be tweaked as the summer goes on. Robbie Blake, who had a bite at the big time, of course, with Bradford and Leeds. Chris Eagles, who thought it might have got away with him early on when Manchester United deemed him surplus to requirements, and the likes of Christian Calvinus. On the flip side, Sheffield United, they must start to think it's a playoff hoodoo now. All season they've been strong, determined, effective, resilient, but none that didn't happen for them today.
No, they didn't seem to turn up. You know, you've got to give Burnley all the credit in the world because they dealt with the occasion, they dealt with the pressure. And Sheffield United, unfortunately for them and their fans, they weren't able to bounce back when things went against them. And they never really looked like scoring, let's be honest about that. And Burnley thoroughly deserved their victory today.
Every one of the Burnley 23 have played their part. None more so than that man, Owen Coyle, the man who has guided Burnley back to the big time after a 33-year absence. They are Wembley winners.
And that's what he means to those Burnley fans. He's hardly raised a smile, has he, either? All in a day's work for the Burnley manager, Owen Coyle. Good to see he at last has broken into a grin. It's a wonderful moment for Burnley. Wolverhampton, Birmingham and now Burnley are in the Premier League. And more reaction is coming up next.
Bobby, 10 years ago you won promotion to the Premier League with Bradford. How does this compare?
I think it's got to be more special. I think at Bradford, you know, we were expected to do really well, and Burnley, you know, the way we started the season, and to get where we are now with the fans and everybody connected to the club, it's a fantastic achievement, probably the best achievement I've ever done in my career.
What credit does your manager deserve, Robbie?
Tremendous credit. He's so enthusiastic. You know, he believes in us so much as players, individuals, and as a team. I think, as you can see, all season long we've played 61 games. You know, we've had a great cup run, and now we look at where we are now. Promotion, Wembley, you know, can't get any better.
Graham, a dream come true for you personally, and long overdue as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long wait. It's 20 years waiting for a day like this. Enjoyed one 10 years ago, promotion with Preston, and this is up there. It's unbelievable. It ain't sunk in yet. I'm absolutely buzzing to be part of a team that's to achieve something with a team like this. We're a great bunch of boys, and I'm going to so enjoy it with every single one of us because everyone's deserved it. We're part of the club.
Robbie, in that second half there, did you really think you were going to make it 2-0 and finish things off?
Yeah, I thought we had a couple of chances before that as well. I think, you know, looking over the 90 minutes, we sort of deserved the victory, and that was a great win for us. And you know, it would have been nice to get the second, a bit of cushion, but 1-0. We knew if we scored, we'd keep a clean sheet. That's all we wanted.
Graham, in the first half, Sheffield United claimed for a penalty when you had a challenge with Brian Howard. What was your view of things?
Yeah, I didn't even see him. I was just going to clear the ball. He just come over my shoulder, so could have been given. I said to Brian straight away that I didn't even see him, but you know, I think overall, I think we deserved it. We had some great chances, especially in the second half, but Sheffield United, fantastic team, and we had to work right to the 95th minute or whatever it was. Commiserations, Sheffield United, I've been there twice, it's horrible, but they'll come back stronger, but you know, I'm just going to enjoy the time with us.
So what's the ambition now? Is it to rack up those 1,000 games in your career in the Premier League?
I'm going to celebrate today. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm celebrating this year. I'm going to enjoy it for as long as possible. And as soon as we get my boots back on in pre-season, we go again and we try and achieve whatever we want to go for.
Robbie, last one to you. Did you really believe today?
Yeah, totally. You know, we had belief all week long that we were going to do it. We weren't overconfident. We were confident in our own ability. And we knew if we played as a team, you know, we had enough players on the pitch. Obviously, Wade's produced a wonder strike. We've had that all season. Players who can score goals at any moment, and you know, Wade's come up with the goods again.
Magnificent achievement. Enjoy your celebrations.
Thanks, mate.
Immense performance again from both of those two. 33 and 37, Alexander. There's bad beat Bob as well.
Where's the calf string? Where's the hamstring string?
Bad beat Bob is his nickname, based on his bad card skills, I think it's fair to say. Wouldn't be complete without that from Robbie Blake. Peter Beagrie, can you sum up the contribution of Blake and Alexander to Burnley this season?
Inspirational, really are. You know, on the pitch and in the dressing room as well, and when you've got a close-knit group like that, that's what you need. It is such a part of football, you know, not just the ability, but the way that they integrate and bring the best out of everybody else.
Just 23 players, Billy, they've used this season. Has that been their strength?
Well, I think consistency of team selection it was very, very important. And any success you get in any league, I think that consistent performance from a team is so crucial. That's what they've had. They've got an excellent spirit in their camp. They've got great enthusiasm in their team and their club, and they thoroughly deserve to get what they've got.
Can you see the togetherness just coming through on those interviews, Kevin?
Without doubt, you need characters in your side like Robin, then you need the professionalism like Alexander, and they've got the mixture, you know, spot on this year, and I'm delighted for them because they're a good footballing team, and good footballing teams deserve to be in the Premier League.
And will it be sinking in a little later this evening, do you think?
If they can remember. I think over the next 2 or 3 days, that's when it really sinks in. Once the head clears tomorrow evening, the day after, and it sinks in, then they'll you know, understand what they've achieved. They've achieved a hell of a lot here today.
Much more to come before we're done here this evening, and much more celebration from the Burnley camp as well. Huge despondency, of course, for Sheffield United. Their fans long gone now. The Burnley party will carry on long into the night.